Okay, it's 2:15 a.m. on the 25th of June, 2026, and I'm finding another alternate reality experience that I've had. It's clear as day that this is another alternate reality experience of what I saw described if the physicist Stephen Hawking were explaining what happened here. From what I read online, this is another example of a photon leak of an alternate reality that I experienced in the reality I was in. But this photon leak was something that would not happen for like another year. So I saw what I experienced like a year ahead of when it happened. Okay, there's no doubt about it. This is absolutely true. Okay, I came out of the mental prison that I was thrown into when I was 28. 30 days after I'd been thrown into it. I was thrown into it on April 28th, 1982. That means 30 days later, I guess it was May 28th. Right? I don't know. Does it work out that way? Okay, April, there's 30 days in April, right? So 29, 30, there's 2 days there, and then 28 days. The 28th of May, that's 30 days. I was 30 days in the mental prison. So, whether it's inclusive or not, I don't know. So I came out of the mental prison, and there's 31 days in May, so it was May 29th or 30th. My first day home from the mental prison. I walk into this room in our house, and the TV is on mysteriously. Nobody's in there watching TV. Nobody's in there. The room is flooded with light from the sunlight, and the room is empty. It's the family room in the basement of my parents' house, 8117 Rayburn Road. That house is gone. There's a mansion standing where that house had been. The house was torn down, a mansion put up in its place. Now, in that room, the room was empty and the TV was on. Now, I was in agony. I was in absolute agony. I'm saying radiation poison had been given to me, and I was in agony. I just got hit by the weapon as punishment for what I just said. Okay? Causing a cough. Now, the same weapon that hit you, Bashuasi, on air, when you started to talk that day, one of your last appearances, after I believe that you had said you were going to leave your job at that station and be back occasionally. You were no longer be making regular appearances as a meteorologist for that station, which means I guess you were leaving that job in some highly diplomatic way. So, you got hit in the throat to make you look like an idiot, right? I watched you religiously every single time you came on TV. What was it, like 6 times a day? I watched every single time and usually videotaped you on TV during your roughly 2-minute spots that came on every hour, like around 10 minutes after the hour. I videotaped everyone and watched everyone from the moment I got interested in you on November 7th, 2022 until you said that let me think, what day was it? Now, March 31st, 2023 was your last regular appearance. So from November 7th, 2022 to March 31st, 2023, every single time you came on TV from around 4 in the morning till when you stopped. And so my mind does not want to figure this out exactly. I could, but I refuse to. When you stopped around, it would have been, let's say it this way, your last appearance as meteorologist on that station would have been around 1:10 a.m. Tokyo time. So I figured if you finished up work after your last appearance. Let's say you came on at 1:10 a.m. Tokyo time, gave your 2-minute report, and you were done for the day. I figure if you headed home, you would be getting home at around 2 a.m. I just guessed, that roughly it would take you that much time. I don't know where you live. I don't. But I figure, in general, people are not going to live that far from work. And so you get home around 2 a.m. and I was saying, what kind of life does this person have? She's got a great job. She's getting home at 2 a.m. every day. What life is that? Because I was thinking about you because you were seeming to send me messages. So I said, what is this? I got interested. I said, wow, you're interested in me? Hold on. Well, I figured you were, so I've been hooked ever since. It's now been 3.5 years. Now, let me get back to my alternate reality experience. I was in the mental prison here in the United States starting on April 28th, and I was held there for 30 days. And the chief inquisitioner at the mental prison told me, toward the end of my term there, he said, now I have the choice of letting you go after 30 days or sending you to a long-term facility. And I've decided to send you home. Okay? This is like spinal fear talking about these things. Now, I believe I'd been given a shot of radiation poisoning that doctor didn't know anything about. Okay? It was a clandestine attempt to murder me. He didn't know anything about it. He didn't know I'd been given a shot of radiation poisoning. And I was talking about being in agony. He didn't understand, and no one did. And no one does to this day. I was hoping to get to your country where there would be lots of expertise on radiation poisoning where I could prove this. Now I don't even know if I'm going to meet you, but I'm not giving up, as you can see. Holding on to the dream that we were going to meet. Okay, so I'm telling you about an alternate reality experience again. I told you about the other one, okay? I heard the song Burning Down the House in December 1975 when I visited my Italian grandfather, who it turns out was my biological father. And I heard that song on my car radio when I reached Washington, PA, way back then. And I find out years and years later that song did not even come out until 1983, and yet I heard it. And I turned it up and loved it and never forgot it. I heard it 8 years before it came out, and as I got an explanation online from folks who are going to interpret Stephen Hawking's, the physicist's way of explaining what happened, I get the explanation that I experienced a photon leak from an alternate reality. Okay? So now I'm finding tonight another photon leak. Because when I got home from the mental prison after the 30 days, and the first morning I got up in agony from that radiation poisoning, and I would be in agony nonstop every waking moment for almost 2 entire years. Yeah, nobody believes that. And I got to admit, I wouldn't have believed it either, but it's true. I don't know, fear is all over me right now remembering this. Now, I come out of this room that I'd been in the basement, and I don't know, it's morning, and I come out of that room, and it's around May 29th, May 30th, whatever, and I walk into this room that no one ever watched TV in. No one ever watched TV, but there was a TV in there. No one watched TV. No one ever used that room at all. There was a piano in that room, and I would play it. But even I didn't watch TV. But I walked into that room because the TV was on. And the theme to the soap opera, Guiding Light, was on. And the sunlight was flooding into that room in an almost mystical, metaphysical way, like heavenly light flooding into that room. And I walked in agony, okay, from that radiation poisoning. And this theme to the soap opera Guiding Light was playing. And I could recognize that the music was beautiful. Okay, and I never forgot it. And I can play it on piano as well as I can. And so I've included in the video I'm going to put online tonight. And I was wanting to give credit, and each time I do this, I go look the thing up because it's always been confusing. And tonight I'm saying the reason it's been confusing is it's another example of an alternate reality experience I've had. Because I see online that the music I heard that day, I guess it was morning, I don't know what time, I was in agony, I was out of things, but I recognized that the music was beautiful. There was no one in that room and the TV was on. Okay, no one ever watched that TV. Who turned on the TV and why did I walk in when that music was playing? It turns out that there are symbolic elements to that I don't want to discuss. Okay, I just don't. It's too involved in how I got thrown into the mental prison, and ever since I have never talked about these matters. Never. It's too frightening. The punishments I got for talking about these things that got me thrown into that mental prison along with everything else. I've never talked about those things ever since, and I don't think I ever will while I'm alive on this earth. The consequences were so horrific to me, I just wouldn't. So I'm seeing online that the theme I heard on like May 29th, 1982, without a doubt, because I don't watch soap operas and I don't care for soap operas or care for soap operas, right? And how would this music be so important to me when I'm in agony? And I should never be able to remember it, and yet I did. So I hear this music and I never forget it. You know, because I walk in that room and what was I thinking? I've recorded this many times. I said, almost the way someone would say something like this if they were weeping when they came to this realization, because I was in agony. I was saying to myself, I should have tried to write for soap operas and things like that. Because I didn't do that, I got this horrific punishment. I should have been trying to write for these kind of things, and I didn't. And I was listening to that music, kind of like beating on myself for why this had happened to me. And so that music stayed with me, and I'm reading online here that there were two authors of the music around that time. It says here that the theme song for this soap opera, when it aired in May and June 1982, when I heard it, it was written by composer Jack Urban. Let me put this on pause. Okay, it's extremely confusing me to read what I'm reading here. It's saying here that what I heard was a slower orchestral theme by someone named Rob Mounsey, Mounsey, that replaced what had been on, it says, including in the Washington, D.C. area, the music by Jack Urban. But the music by Rob Mounsey is different music, and that's the music that I heard. But this says that music by Rob Mounsey, it wasn't on TV until August 22nd, 1983, and yet I heard it in this empty room where no one ever watched TV. around May 29th, 1982, after a month in that mental prison. I came home on fire in agony, and I was seeing that show come on the TV when I walked into the room, and I recognized the music was beautiful, and I never forgot it. I can play it on piano as well as I can. I'm not much of a piano player, but I can get the tune. But I should not have been able to hear that when I heard it. So once again, I'm amazed at this has got to be another alternate reality experience. And I'm saying it could be that my tragic life is mainly due to me being in mixed realities like this. I'm like lost in a mixture of realities where people can't find me. And I'm saying that may be why you and I are having so hard a time getting together. We're in alternate realities somehow. So no matter how hard we try, we're not able to do this. In fact, it could be that I'll find out in the future that I should never have been able to see you on TV at all. What if I find out that the times I've seen you on TV, it wasn't during the period I said from November 7th, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. What if I learn, like a few years from now or whenever, that you were never on TV at that time? You were on at a different time. Let's see if you were on 10 years before that or 5 years after. You weren't on at that time at all. And that could be why we haven't been able to get together. Okay, I'm saying, Bashuasi, that the reason why we're not getting together is because we are in alternate realities. And here's my explanation. You did appear on my front lawn, and the reason why you look so young is because you are young. You're around 30 years old, or in your late 20s. That's your age right now. You're around 30 years old or in your late 20s. And the times I saw you on TV were photon leaks of you when you were around 40. Okay? This is not the person I saw on TV. This was photon leaks from an alternate reality in the future. That's you in the future when you're 40. You are not 40. You are the person who showed up on my front lawn. You're around 30 years old or late 20s. So you're about the age my mother was when she conceived me. And I'm older than the grandfather was who sired me. How much older? He was 62 when I was conceived, and I'm a decade older than that. So you're of childbearing age in reality. And the reason why we're not getting together is all the confusion created by the things I'm saying about you, your middle age and so on. When if you're getting my messages somehow, or you're only getting them partly, or you're seeing photon leaks from me, okay, somehow, and this is why there's all this confusion. So I'm saying, here's the explanation again. You did appear on my front lawn about a year ago in a dilapidated car. That was you. And the reason you look so young is because you are young. Right now, you're around 30 years old or younger. That's your real age. And the person I've been seeing on TV, that's you, but that's you a decade from now when you're around 40 years old. And the reason why we're not getting together is because we're in two different realities, but we might still do it. We might still accomplish this. So the person I've been seeing on TV, This is not you. This is a version of you in another reality. About a decade from now. But it's not you in this reality at all. I was not seeing you in this reality. See what I'm saying? I was seeing another version of you in an alternate reality that leaked through. And this other version of you is from about a decade from now when you're around 40. There's the explanation. Is that you, Chris? And we want justice.